the woman who couldn't stop bleeding. She thought it was just a heavy period, but by the third day she was soaking through pads every hour. By the fifth, she was fainting. By the seventh, she was bleeding from her gums, her nose, and even her eyes. Her body wasn't just bleeding, it had forgotten how to stop. This is the terrifying true story of a woman whose life was nearly stolen by her own blood, and the invisible disorder hiding in her DNA. You're watching The Human Condition, where every disease has a story. Amanda James was 34, healthy, active, a mother of 2. She taught 5th grade at a public school near Atlanta and ran half marathons on weekends. She cooked, cleaned, packed lunches, and never took a sick day, the kind of person everyone called dependable. She wasn't a hypochondriac. In fact, she avoided doctors unless absolutely necessary. So when her period came early and heavy on a Sunday morning, she chalked it up to stress. Maybe it was her new birth control, maybe perimenopause. She wasn't worried. But by Monday, something felt wrong. She was changing super-absorbency tampons and overnight pads together every 30 to 45 minutes. She felt cold, dizzy. Her skin was pale and her heartbeat pounded in her ears. But still, she pushed through her day, teaching, grading papers, picking up her kids. By day 3, Amanda couldn't stand upright for more than a few minutes. Her husband drove her to urgent care, but they sent her to the ER. When she arrived, her blood pressure had crashed to 70/40. Her lips were blue. The ER team moved fast. IV fluids, oxygen, and 3 blood transfusions. Doctors suspected uterine fibroids or a ruptured ovarian cyst, but imaging showed no abnormal bleeding in her pelvis. Still, the bleeding wouldn't stop. Even when they removed her IV, the needle site bled for half an hour. Her gums bled when she brushed. She bit her lip. It bled for hours. She began bruising spontaneously, long streaks of purple and black forming on her arms, thighs, and belly. A simple blood pressure cuff left a massive hematoma. Her blood work was strange. Platelet count, normal. Hemoglobin, low, but expected. But one number stood out. Factor VIII activity, nearly undetectable. That's when one of her doctors asked an unusual question. Has anyone in your family had bleeding disorders? Amanda was confused. She didn't. And besides, isn't hemophilia something only men get? It is, usually. But Amanda didn't have congenital hemophilia, the kind you're born with. She'd acquired Hemophilia A, a rare and often deadly autoimmune condition. Unlike inherited hemophilia, which mostly affects boys and is passed through families, acquired hemophilia comes out of nowhere. It happens when the immune system mistakenly targets factor VIII, a protein essential for clotting. Your body bleeds and can't stop. It's usually triggered by autoimmune diseases like lupus or rheumatoid arthritis, childbirth, certain cancers, or, as in Amanda's case, seemingly nothing at all. Her immune system had created autoantibodies, microscopic attack dogs that saw her clotting proteins as enemies. It's so rare that most ER doctors will never see a case in their career. Roughly 1.5 people per million are diagnosed with it each year. Amanda had never even heard of it, and neither had most of her nurses. Amanda was transferred to the ICU. She received factor VII, a bypass agent that helps clot without needing factor VIII. But that wasn't enough. Her doctors began aggressive immunosuppressive therapy, high-dose steroids, powerful biologics like rituximab, around-the-clock monitoring for internal bleeds. For days, nothing changed. Her arms were covered in dark, spreading bruises. Blood pooled silently in her abdomen. She sneezed once, and blood trickled from her eyes. Then, slowly, the bleeding stopped. By week 2, her labs showed factor VIII beginning to return. By week 3, she no longer needed transfusions. Amanda spent 14 days in the ICU and another month in recovery. She left the hospital with a medical alert bracelet, a treatment plan, and a terrifying realization. She had nearly bled to death, without a single visible wound. Today, Amanda is in remission, but she gets tested every few months. She avoids medications that could thin her blood, and she lives with the anxiety that one day it might come back. Amanda now speaks publicly about acquired hemophilia. She advocates for faster diagnosis, especially for women, because when women bleed heavily, they're often dismissed. Stress, they're told. Fibroids, menopause, just a bad period. Amanda's story is a warning and a lesson. Bleeding disorders don't always look like trauma, and sometimes the most dangerous wounds are internal, invisible, and autoimmune. She was bleeding to death, with no accident, no injury, and no one could see the wound, because the enemy was inside. This is the human condition, where every disease has a story. Next up, when your muscles turn to stone, the hidden terror of autoimmune myositis. Subscribe for more terrifyingly true medical mysteries. Because sometimes, your body is the scariest thing you own.